Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. Today we're making another copycat recipe. Evidently I'm in a very Italian mood. Today we're gonna make the Zuppa Toscano, and I hope I'm saying it right. Zuppa Toscano soup, and it is delicious. I'm not a real big fan of soups with sausage in it, but I love this one. So I've got all the ingredients out, and we'll just do it step by step, and y'all can follow me along the way. The original recipe will be in the description box, because if you know me, I don't follow recipes too well. This is the Copycat Zuppa Toscano soup. So I cook mine in a Dutch oven, and you can tell this is a well-used Dutch oven. I start out with just a little bit of olive oil before I put my sausage in, and then we're going to render our fat from our sausage. We're going to put our sausage in a cold Dutch oven. So now I've turned my eye on, and you can use the sausage that's in the skins, and you can remove it from the skins. I'm using what I have because I'm doing a pantry challenge, and that's what this is all about. I'm using what I have. And so I just had a tube of mild Italian sausage. This is just breakfast sausage is what it is. So I'm just pinching it and dropping it in. My pan was cold. I've turned my pan on now where we can start rendering the fat. You know, we render the fat from our bacon in a lot of recipes too. So that's what we're doing. So I'm doing this a very easy way for y'all that needs to have quick meals. And my sausage is frying up, and the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna, where's my onions? I'm gonna use some freeze-dried onions. In my lasagna the other day I had to use red, and my daughter taught me doing that. I'm out of white onions, and in the pantry challenge you use what you have until you have to go buy some. So I'm wanting to do like a whole onion. These are freeze-dried. There's my oxygen absorbers. I'm going to do about half a cup of freeze-dried onions. But again, fresh onion would be much, much better. But this will work. And then I'm just going to fill this to the top. I've got some chicken broth. I'm going to fill this to the top with chicken broth. This was left over in the refrigerator. And I'm going to hydrate these onions. Again, if you got a fresh onion, use that, but I didn't want to put red onions in this again. My sweet Hunter and my daughter, they don't like onions, so I can trick them with this or a fresh white onion. But anyway, we're gonna let that just hydrate. That's an easy thing to have. If you don't have these on hand when you're out of onions, this is a great thing to have. I use the oxygen absorbers in there and just close it back up. And sometimes I vacuum seal it again, but I use it so often that's hard to do. So the next thing we're gonna do is minced garlic. I have this, I'm trying to use what I have, and we're gonna do a tablespoon of this. If I can get a tablespoon out. Well, it won't fit in there, so I'm just gonna kind of measure this out, and I'm gonna put it in this, and that's a tablespoon of minced garlic. Again, I've got garlic. I've got fresh garlic. I've got the garlic that my friend did, the hot pickled garlic. But I'm trying to use things up, so I'm gonna use this up. This will go back in the refrigerator. All right, let's check our sausage. So I like to let my meat just sit in there and the fat render before I stir it around, but it's good and brown on the bottom, so I just start chopping it up. So here you kind of have a choice. If you like things spicy and hot, you can use crushed red peppers. Or if you like things mild but peppers in it, this is like hot and mild peppers mixed together. Paprika, this is smoked paprika. This is what I'm going to use. But if you don't have smoked paprika or paprika, just use red pepper flakes, and you can mash them up. And don't use as much if you don't like it as hot. this won't make it hot, and we don't like it. The sausage will be hot enough for us. So while the fat is rendering, I'm just going to add about 3/4 teaspoon of paprika and stir it in. So in the meantime, I wanted to fry up some bacon, and I didn't want to fry it up. I didn't want to put it in my oven either. You want some good crispy fried bacon, and the microwave does it perfect. So I did 4 pieces for this soup. So our meat is brown, and now we're going to add 32 ounces of chicken broth. You can use the bought or what you do at home. I just don't have any right now. I got to make some. I've got the chicken to make it. I just don't have it made. I got a lot of bones to make it. We're going to do that one day. So I'm going to pour this in the soup. I wanted to show you my onions. See how they have hydrated? I'm going to pour them into a bowl. I had the paprika spoon in here, but it'll be fine. And just let them sit here for a little bit longer, but they are hydrated. They are like regular onions, so they are good. And I would say that's probably more than a whole onion. See how good they look? I love freeze-dried or dehydrated onions. I love them. I'm gonna go ahead and add like an onion, what I think is a whole onion, and I'm just guessing at this, probably 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic too. And you can do that before you put the chicken broth in if you want. This is a copycat recipe. This is my favorite copycat recipe of this soup, but you can choose any one you want. And again, the recipe that I'm using will be in the description box. And remember, I don't go exactly by recipe. So next, some people do their potatoes just really thin. I do them kind of chunky. So I'm just cutting my potatoes, and I'm quartering them and then making little cubes out of them. And I'm using about 5 potatoes because I'm just using what I have, and I don't have a whole lot of potatoes left. Thankfully, I have some canned, and thankfully I have some in the freezer. But fresh potatoes, I don't really have a lot of. So our chicken broth and everything else is coming to a boil. And then we're gonna add our potatoes next. I leave the peelings on. You don't have to do that if you don't like that. I love copycat recipes. I think they're fun to make, just trying to recreate them. I have a spinach artichoke dip that I've just recently put on and showed y'all where Sweet Hunter's aunt recreated that from a restaurant that we love, and it is so good. In fact, we had that at, it was either New Year's or Christmas. It was so good. And I'm about ready to have that again. I can eat it for a meal. If you want to see that video, you can look at spinach artichoke dip, Our Forever Farm, or just go to my channel, Our Forever Farm, and see what all we have. I haven't looked lately, but I'm thinking we are right at 500 videos. That made a lot of potatoes, and that was just 5. I'm making this full recipe, but I will be like freezing half of it for times when I don't want to cook. Now I'm just adding the potatoes to the soup. And now we're just going to simmer the potatoes until they're done. It usually takes about 20 minutes for those potatoes to get done. Of course, the longer that you let your soup cook on the stove or in the crock pot, you can do this in the crock pot too, which is our secret weapon, as Fly Lady says. You can just let it simmer all day. Now, I'm cutting up kale. I'm just chopping up some kale. If you don't like kale, use spinach. This is just what I had. And I actually do like it in the soup. I'm just removing it from the stem and chopping it up. These will go to my chickens along with some food that I've got from last night. This is the kale that we'll put in the soup. Give you a little hint. If you want to fry your bacon up, and I might should have done this, like before you do your sausage and then remove your bacon and leave that fat in there, that's really good. Anytime you can have bacon fat, render the bacon fat, it's really good. But I just wanted a quick soup, so that's why I'm doing it this way. But I'm telling you, the bacon fat would be good with that sausage fat. And when you do it in the microwave, you don't get fat. It's all on the paper towel. So I'm just breaking this up for a topping. We are just about through, y'all. It's gonna be so good. So I was getting everything ready and putting everything up, and I thought, I wonder if I told y'all you could hydrate these in water, the onions. You can hydrate these in water. So I'm putting these in a little dish to put in my refrigerator to use in a different meal. So while our potatoes are cooking and our soup's gonna simmer for a while, I've got all my toppings and my cream ready to put in, and I'll show you what we do with that. But I want to make some Copycat breadsticks. This is an easy way to make a Copycat Olive Garden breadstick. And it's just using frozen rolls. You can use any frozen rolls you want. So for us, I put 6 out on a pan, and while I've been doing all this, they've been thawing out. I'll show you what to do next. Now we used chicken broth to cover our sausage, our potatoes, all the goodness that's in there cooking. And it's cooking down. So what I want to do is I want to make sure it stays submerged. I'm adding about a cup of water to this. So this is so easy. Normally I make my breadsticks with my homemade biscuit mix, but this is such a simple thing. So I try to always have a bag of frozen rolls for convenience sake in the freezer. So these are soft and almost completely thawed out, and all I'm gonna do is roll these into breadstick rolls.
You will thank me for showing you a simple way to have Copycat Olive Garden breadsticks.
So after you get your rolls done, I guess those are about 6 or 8 inches. I've just got a small cookie sheet, so I'm not gonna measure them. You wanna keep them in the round form, and if they shrink up, just stretch them out a little bit. But once you do the next step, we're not gonna be stretching. So I'm gonna melt some butter in the microwave. I'm gonna let these sit out for about 30 minutes, and we don't want them to dry out. So what I'm gonna do is just brush a little butter on them while they sit out. We're gonna need more butter, so I've got it partially melted, and we're just gonna brush it over the breadsticks. Now we're gonna check our soup, but I'm gonna set these over here on the stove for about 30 minutes to let them rise a little bit more. So our soup is looking really good. The potatoes, I'm pretty sure are done. Let me see. Yes, the potatoes are done. So we're gonna add some salt and pepper to this. And this will be just to taste. Only thing missing in that soup that I see is the cream. So I'm gonna add 1 cup of heavy cream, heavy whipping cream. This makes everything better. And I'm gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons, maybe 1.25 tablespoons of flour, all-purpose flour, into the heavy whipping cream. You don't want any lumps in there, so you want to whisk this up really good. This is going to make it creamy and thicker. Just make sure and get all the lumps out. So I want to tell you about the cream, when you put the flour in it, I'm telling you, sometimes you have lumps. I do it all the time. So you can strain this heavy cream, which won't strain the flour out, it'll just strain the lumps. And you can just, mash it and still have your cup of heavy cream with the flour in it. But I'm telling you, as much as I'd like to act like it never happens to me, I'm real, and I'm gonna tell you like it is. And so I didn't have to today because it worked really well. I was down at the bottom of the barrel and I need to put some more in there. But it does happen, so don't think that you've done anything wrong. Just to be safe, strain it, and then you'll have cream with flour with no lumps. Let's put it in the soup. This is my favorite part, putting the cream in. I just think this is beautiful. It makes it such a creamy soup. And I love heavy whipping cream. So we put our salt and pepper in there. Look at that, how it's turned out. Look how pretty. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the kale in. Like I said, you can use spinach too. This is kale, and it looks like a lot, but it cooks way down, just like all the other green vegetables. So we're just gonna add it in there. I was thinking that I was gonna do it for a topping, but I changed my mind, and I don't like stems in it, and there's a stem right there. So we're just gonna stir this in, and it will cook down. We have our salt, pepper, our kale, and our heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna turn this down on low, put the lid on it, and let it simmer for a little while and marry all those good flavors. No, I don't cook in my camouflage, but I wanted, before I go out to feed the chickens the scraps of the kale, I wanted to get a taste test of this and make sure it doesn't need any more salt or pepper or anything like that. That is delicious. I think we're fine. I wish I had chopped my kale up just a little bit more, but I can do that as I dish it out. That is delicious. Creamy. It's so good. I absolutely love my chickens and guineas. When the guineas see me, they'll probably run down here and get the chicken feed and run the chickens off, but I wanted to show you the chickens. What are you doing out? See if I can lift this fence and let her in. There she goes in. Aren't they pretty? So I've got one more that's out. I need to find her too. Here comes the guineas. They'll run the chickens off. They don't really want the food, they just want they won't see me. Hello babies, hello babies. It's very cold, isn't it? It's about 25, I think, out there right now. It's very cold. The wind is what gets you. And we're expecting snow soon. So I hope we get it. I'm a snow person. I love to be snowed in as long as I have Coke and power. I'm good. Our oven has been preheated to 375. These have been sitting for about 30 minutes. They don't rise a whole lot because they're just little bitty rolls. But we're going to put them in the oven now for about 10 minutes. I can't wait to eat this. This is going to be so good. I'm going to take the bacon. How easy is that? Aren't they beautiful? They're just beautiful. I love them. So again, we're gonna brush these with melted butter.
If you close your eyes and had a breadstick from Olive Garden and these breadsticks, I'm telling you, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And here's the trick, garlic salt. Now, if you don't like too much salt, you might want to use unsalted butter instead of salted. But this is the trick. When you go to Olive Garden, you'll notice the little sandy salt on the breadsticks. It is garlic salt, and this sticks right to the melted butter. This makes these breadsticks so good. You're gonna love these. Easy Copycat Olive Garden breadsticks made from frozen rolls.
So I got the soup out where it would cool just a few minutes. It's still pretty warm. You can see the steam, but look at that. Oh my goodness. So good. I'm telling you, this is delicious, and I'm not even a sausage lover. I'm not a kale lover, but it's delicious. And again, you don't have to use kale, and I wish I had chopped it up a little bit better. We're gonna do a taste test when this gets cool enough. I'm telling you, the kale's delicious. The sausage, you're in the mood for Italian, this is it. And you know what's funny? This is not my favorite soup there. It's not what I order. I order the gnocchi soup. But this is absolutely delicious. Let's try the breadsticks. So we're just gonna break them in two. Look at that. How beautiful. How beautiful that is. Oh my goodness, and they're still hot. I'm telling you, you couldn't come any closer. You really couldn't. You could not come any closer. That is delicious. I could eat all 6 of those. I mean, delicious. Easy. Frozen rolls. I love to do things homemade too. But sometimes you just need a break. You couldn't ask for better. You really couldn't. I'm talking about even at the restaurant. This is absolutely delicious. Sorry, y'all. So the perfect thing to go with this is the Olive Garden salad. I made it in the last video. We made it a very easy way. We used the Olive Garden dressing and we copycatted it. So go check that out. You're gonna love it. You can make it right with this or with the white chicken cheese lasagna that I made. Either one, it's gonna be good. I don't know why I'm on this Italian kick, but it sure is good. Wish y'all were here. These are my favorite. This is great too. These are wonderful. You know, the breadsticks will be good with anything, kind of like hush puppies with my fried noodles. I mean, the breadsticks would be delicious with anything. This is so good. I can't thank y'all enough for watching. I hope you try this. It's easy, quick. It's a copycat. I mean, I love it. It's delicious. I love eating at home instead of going out to a restaurant. So if I'm in a mood for Olive Garden, now I can whip it right up. It's gonna be good. It's so good. I can't stop eating it. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all go cook something.